Hi, this is Lauren from Daisy Cottage Designs, and I'm here with a video tutorial for you today on the wide double crochet and wide half double crochet stitches. I use these stitches on the blanket that you see on the screen in front of you, and I just wanted to be sure that you know exactly how to work the wide stitches before you get started on your project. If you are going to work along with me, you're going to need some worsted weight yarn. I'm using Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek in the shade Purple Haze and a J crochet hook. Unless you know you crochet really loosely, then you might want to go down to an I. And you're going to want to chain an odd number. For the project that I did, for the blanket that you just saw, I started with a chain of 113, but any odd chain will work. And for our tutorial, for the sake of time, I just started with a chain of 11. Now, if you want all the details for the blanket that you just saw, the links are in the description below, so you can go ahead and grab those there. So the first thing you're going to want to do, whether you chained 11 or chained 113, is half double crochet into the second chain and in each chain across. So let's go ahead and do that. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we started with a chain of 11 and we're ending with 10 half double crochet stitches. So if you started with a chain of 113, you'll end with 112 half double crochet stitches. Now, this was just a row of normal double crochet stitches, but the next row is where we'll start working wide stitches. So you're going to chain 2, and our first row of wide stitches will actually be wide double crochet stitches. So the first thing you're going to want to do is find the space between the first 2 half double crochets. So usually when you work a stitch, you work into the top of the stitch, which is under the V right here. But for wide stitches, you work between the posts of the stitch. And the post is just the part of the stitch that comes down right underneath the top. So here's a post and here's a post. So you're going to be working into the space right between those posts to work your first double crochet. So there is our first wide double crochet. It just makes your work a little bit wider when you work into the posts instead, or between the posts instead of into the tops of the stitches. So our next double crochet will be worked in the spot, in the space between these 2 posts, so right here. So we'll yarn over and insert our hook right there. And then we'll do that in between all the half double crochets from the previous row. All right, so here's our next space between the posts. And there's our next one. You can see that our next double crochet will go right here in between these 2 posts. And then right here. And we'll work between all the posts, just like that. There's our next spot between the 2 posts. And then when you get to the very, oops, I accidentally went underneath a strand of that yarn. So right there, between the posts. So when you get to the end of the row, what you're going to want to make sure you do is work between the last stitch and the chain. So you see I have a chain over here and I have my last half double crochet right here. I want to make sure that I work my last stitch of the row in between those 2, in between the chain and the half double crochet. So I'm going to work that right there. So that's my first row of wide double crochets. So now I'm going to chain 1, and we'll work our row of wide half double crochets. And I bet you've already guessed it that we're going to work in between the posts of the double crochets. And actually it's really easy to see between double crochets because the stitches are a little bit taller. So we're going to work our half double crochet between these posts. So we'll insert our hook right there. So there's our first wide half double crochet. Then we'll come over here between these two posts and we'll work our next wide half double crochet. And then we'll come over here and work our next one. And we'll work in between the posts all the way across the row. Right there. Here's our next spot. And then right here, just a couple more left. Right here. And then our last two double crochets, we'll work between those. And then to finish the row, we're going to work between the last double crochet and the turning chain. So we want to make sure we finish in between the last stitch and the turning chain or our rows will get wonky. So remember we started with 10 half double crochets in a chain one. And so make sure at the end of this row, let's make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, we have 10. And then we have our turning chain over here on the end. So then you will work, the next row would be a row of wide double crochets and then wide half double crochets, and you'll just alternate all throughout the pattern. So if you have any questions, let me know. Again, all the details are in the description down below. Well, the links to all the details are in the description down below. But this is a really easy stitch that has great drape and really good texture, and it's a lot of fun to make. So I hope you have a great day and happy crocheting.